Hey, what's up, bootstrappers? This is Ryan Nickel coming at you with another Flashcard Friday with a little bit of glare going on, little sparkles, little shimmer, little shine. So let's get into this. So if you don't have these flashcards, this is your first time coming to see these videos here, these are something spectacular. You got to get yourself a copy of these. Basically what they are, we've broken them down. You know that like when you have a deck of playing cards, you have hearts and clubs and spades and diamonds. Well, guess what? We've broken it down into suits. So we have how to talk to sellers, how to talk to buyers, how to do some math that you definitely need to know as an investor, and then of course how to find some off-market properties. So we've done this so that you can be just one deal away from changing your entire financial future, because all it takes is just one deal. And if you can get the skill set found here in these cards in as little as maybe 5 minutes a day of just practicing, going over the phrases, learning these key language patterns to talk to or how to use when talking to sellers, it can give you the leverage between getting a deal and not having a deal, because that one deal is all it takes to change your financial future forever. So without any further ado, let me tell you this little marketing here. Go ahead and click on the link below or wherever you find it on this page and get yourself a copy of this, or go to bootstraprei.com/flashcards. You would think I would have this done by now. It's like probably like number 38 or 39 that we have of these flashcards. But anyway, I digress. But let's pull out today's random card, and we have it, the 3 of Diamond, proper perspective. You can see that there. So let me go ahead and show you this card and give you some real life examples about it. So the 3 of Diamond, proper perspective. Remember that the seller needs you and you don't need the seller. How true is that? They might need to sell, but you don't need to buy. The moment you become emotionally needy about a property, you're no longer on safe ground financially. Wow. That is so true, and this just happened with me this week. Proper perspective is always key. Let me just tell you what happened. So I found a property this week. I went and I walked the property. Actually, I had identified the property as a pre-foreclosure. It had not been, a notice of default had not been filed yet. And so I found this property, and it was a good piece of property. It's in a neighborhood where I just bought a property. So I just bought a home there, and now I found this other one at the end of the street. Went and talked to the neighbor, found out that the son was wanting to sell it, but it hadn't been probated yet because the guy had died and then it went into pre-foreclosure. So I'm like, this is great. So I go into the house. I'm already in my mind thinking, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a skinny deal, the kind that I like. I love to take over these properties where there's very little equity or margin, but I can create that through creative seller financing. So I go in there, and in my mind, I've already made it up that I want to buy this house. I don't even know the numbers yet, but I made up my mind I want to buy this house. So did I have proper perspective? No, I did not. So I'm walking through this house. Come to find out, the house is worth about $215 all fixed up. In its current condition, it's worth about $175. So they owe $130 on the mortgage. So I'm looking at this, I'm doing the numbers. Okay, it's going to take about, I'm doing some mental math here, and it needs to be probated. So I'm going to have to, in California, we have this dual area of probate that if it falls under $150,000 threshold, it's a short-term probate. If it's over $150,000 as far as total estate value, then it's a long-term probate, and then the costs jump up from there. More than likely, this was going to be a long-term probate because of the condition of the house, when the guy died, and all that thing. So I'm looking at anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000 in probate fees, and then also about 9 to 12 months of carrying cost on top of that as well. So mentally, I'm already just, okay, fine, I got, $130, here comes $140 for probate, another, let's call it a year, monthly payment on the mortgage was roughly about $1,400, so I'm like, okay, there's another, $16,000, and then on top of that, they were behind about $8,000, and so things start stacking up, right? And I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting out of my realm of where I feel comfortable, but I have some other solutions, of other creative ways that I could have made this work at no problem. I was still in the game. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen, and here's how I'm going to do it. And mentally in my mind, I've done this before many times on other properties, and it's worked out like a dream. Here's where the clincher. Here's where it actually fell apart for me. In talking to the son, he's like, we had a realtor come in here, and the realtor told us that we could sell this house as is for $175,000, and we only owe $130 on it. That's about $40,000, $45,000 there in difference. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. But are you going to probate it? Are you going to cure the default? Are you going to hold on to it until the probate is done? All those holding costs. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to sell it to you at a discount. We think that $10,000 is a fair price. And I'm thinking here, I'm like, okay, $130, $10,000, so that's $140. We have the probate, another $10,000, that's $150. My holding cost, let's call that $16,000. We're at $166. And the back taxes on there, which is another, not back taxes, but the back payment on there, which was about $8,000. We're now at $172. No dice, not going to happen. I'm sorry. And I offered him $1,000. I said, if you would take $1,000 and your sister would take $1,000, I would buy this house. And then I came up, I said, how about 15 apiece? 3,000 total. I was willing to come out of pocket $2,000 for this property. He's like, no, we want $5,000 or nothing. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, it's going to have to be nothing. But I was into it, and I was just like, I was trying to make this work. And I had my partner with me, and he finally just like, I looked over to him, and he's like, shook his head. He's like, dude, we got to go, man. This is not happening. I failed to carry proper perspective. He had it the whole time. He's like, no way, man. I'm looking at this place. It's not going to go. Of course, he flips properties. I do skinny deals. We do a lot of flipping together as well. But he was right. He was right. There was no deal to be had there because they needed to sell and I wanted to buy. And as soon as I got emotional about it, I'm not saying that they read into that or not, but I was willing to make all these concessions or these adjustments to make it work when really I just should have moved on. It's not a good deal. Anyway, I didn't buy it anyway. So that's the moral of the story. So you need to have proper perspective. Because you know what, I would have bought this property and I probably would have done all right with it, but it would have been a marginal deal. It would not have been a great money maker for me. There are other opportunities out there. I would have been at the end probably either broken even or maybe come up short just a little bit on my overall money into it versus money taken back out of it when I sell it on seller financing terms. So at the end of the day, it was a deal to pass on. I'm a winner for it for not doing that because whether this card was there to remind me or I had a partner to remind me, proper perspective ruled the day on that one. So keep that in mind, guys. Remember that they might need to sell, but you don't have to buy. And that's what this one is, guys. Proper perspective, 3 of diamonds. Remember, you're just one deal away from changing your entire future. And by keeping your proper perspective, you're guaranteed to make sure that you're going to be able to buy the deals that make the most sense financially for you and your family. All right, I'm Ryan Nickel. Be sure if you don't already have these cards to jump on down to bootstraprei.com/flashcards and get yourself a copy today. Thanks.